machine, so yeah, they're all fine. They're fine. Professionals at work.
I want one so bad.
Ready?
So awesome. Hey guys.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. A little technical difficulty. No, the motorcycle was born late 1800s. You know, bicycle was fun, but people just weren't going fast enough. I mean, who can pedal a bike and sweat in a top hat and a 7-piece suit? You know, it's not cool. So you got to put a motor on these things and make them go. Shortly after competition followed, they started racing these guys, and as you can see, they actually did it on board tracks, hand-laid wooden tracks. Mike Moran would appreciate that. These things were a mile to a half mile, quarter mile, eighth mile, really, really long. You can see the banking behind him up to 60 degrees. They didn't wear any protection, just a leather cap, a varsity sweater, and some leather pants. There were no brakes. They were hitting triple-digit speeds, 100 miles an hour, and they had no throttle to speak of. As soon as it started, it was full on gas. This is what it looked like in 1920s. Check it out. Absolutely amazing. You can see the banking right there. Incredible. These guys, it was very dangerous. Obviously, at those times, they didn't have a lot of safety precautions. If the fall didn't kill you, dropping off the 60-degree bank, then you succumb to infection from the splinters, literally, in your body. So it was pretty rough sport, and they figured out that this wood stuff, man, it's a lot of work, it's dangerous. Let's take advantage of the American countryside and put this out on the dirt. And that's really where flat track started to take off. You're seeing an early example of what founded the modern motorcycles today, Indian and Harley Davidson. When the World War started, basically motorcycles became part of the mechanized army. Over 20,000 were used during World War I and World War II. Most of those were Harley Davidsons. Horses eat too much. I mean, it's boring. When the GIs came back from the war, you know, not everybody was ready to assimilate into your typical, you know, American family. 2 kids, a car, and a house. A lot of guys weren't ready for that. So they rebelled, and motorcycles gave them that avenue. It was more than a hobby, it was a culture for them. Just catching my breath still, sorry. In 1954, the AMA created the Grand National Championship Series. This is when the true organized racing started. You can see a fine example there of a flat tracker hanging his leg out to the left. Harley Davidson has been a dominant manufacturer in this series for about 50 years. The 70s and 80s were the golden era of this sport, and then motocross and road racing actually branched off of flat track and created their own series. Now we're experiencing the rebirth. This is the legendary.
That's a lot faster.
We've had such an incredible experience just traveling from race to race all over the country with these guys, these riders and their families, and it's just been truly incredible. They're so passionate, it's so hardworking, just trying to get, you know, work 5 days a week, work their butts off 5 days a week, and then to get to the next race. There's not a lot of reward in flat track, so it's truly all about the passion. There's little kids that race starting at age 3. They run amateur classes, and then there's actually like old men, 85 years old, who are running the vintage classes. So it's really, really amazing to see them out there. There's girls who race. There's actually an amputee. He's got one arm, and he races, you know, 100 miles an hour plus around the miles. It's been truly amazing to see such a great American sport just come, you know, full circle.